Joining me now to discuss this big run and what's next is Bill Brennan. He is the president and CEO of Credo. Bill, congrats and welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
I find this fascinating, and thank you for being here as well as an investor. Take me back to January. Did you, as a leader, look at your stock price and say, this thing's massively undervalued?
Yeah, I think that I mean, we can pick January and go back then. I think the theme here has been really consistent over the past, 5+ years. We've known that there is going to be an exponential increase in bandwidth on high-speed connectivity. We know that that's coming. The data center has driven that for many years. In January of this year, sure. I mean, AI was well discussed. There were so many programs that were staged for deployment. And so, sure, in January, we had a real sense that there was real growing momentum in the deployment of AI clusters. And then, of course, working with our customers as they make those deployments, we would be a beneficiary for sure.
I ask because the shares are up 241% this year. So for a lot of people, even as they were looking for the so-called picks and shovels of the AI revolution, they've overlooked your stock. Now they know all about it. They're, shaking their heads, wishing that they had been in it for this ride. And I would love to know, I mean, to the extent that you can really say this, do you think this run will continue into next year and beyond? I mean, is there still a lot of value to be unlocked here?
Yeah, I'll first, at a high level, talk about where our solutions fit within AI. So when we think about AI clusters, I think most people are conditioned to think about GPUs. These are, on their own, very high-performance standalone compute devices. An AI cluster is combining 10,000 or tens of thousands of these GPUs. And the magic from our perspective really is in the connectivity between those GPUs. So the higher bandwidth connectivity that you can have between GPUs, there's a direct correlation with performance of the cluster itself. So I think that I think we're really blessed with great investors that have dug into the thesis really over the last 3 years. And I think that, I think it was welcome news when we announced earnings last week that we do see an inflection point that matches the inflection point in the AI market generally. As we look towards the future, I think we're pretty bullish in a sense that, we have many customer relationships in flight, and there's different schedules for deployment. Can't really be too specific about timing, but we do feel like the growth we've had over the last year will continue into our next fiscal year.
It's just an amazing run. We're showing the 3-year performance there, up almost 500%. Bill, even as we're celebrating and kind of remarking at these AI milestones, Google yesterday came out with a quantum chip, leading many to speculate that AI is already over. Here comes quantum to kind of do new and different things. And I don't know if you know how much connectivity is required, if quantum also requires quantum clusters and all the rest of it, or if their chips actually could kind of simplify this and lead to maybe on the margin less demand for AI clusters in the future than we might presently think we need.
Yeah, I think it's a bit early to pour cold water on AI, especially with a technology like quantum that's been discussed for many, many years. It's good to hear about the breakthrough, and when it does come, I think there's going to be a massive amount of high-speed connectivity that goes along with the application. I will give you an anecdote. Yesterday, I was actually at a doctor's office in Palo Alto, and the doctor was explaining that he talked to a friend that works at a quantum connectivity or quantum communication company, and they've celebrated a big milestone of being able to transmit and receive 13 bits. To give you a good reference on what we're doing today, with our active electrical cables, the picture you're seeing there, we're able to transmit and receive 800 billion bits per second.
Wow.
Operating life over multiple years without a single bit failure. Next year, we'll be shipping products that are 1.5 trillion bits per second. So give you a relative reference point there.
Who could have brought a better reference point to kind of put into context some of the news this week than that? Bill, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We hope to check back in soon.
Absolutely. Count me in as a Caitlin fan as well.
Yes, we will be sure.
Okay,
have you seen her play?
Oh my gosh, I was tuning in every game.
Wow.
Absolutely fascinating.
Yep, she's quite something. Bill, thanks so much. Bill Brennan joining us from Credo today. Again, Credo shares have been on a tear this year.